officially September, or so I've been told, but I'm not sure I believe it because neither the temperature nor the everlasting feeling of loneliness and that things are never going to be quite the same is still around the way it was March, so I don't know who's to say. But never fret, because we all know that I'm never alone, as long as I have Larry. It's you and me against the world, buddy. So as y'all could probably infer, I'm a pretty nerdy and theatrical person. So, what happens when my nerd self and my theater self come together? D&D? Huh? Well, no, I mean, yes, I do play D&D, but I'm not talking about D&D today. I am talking about conventions and cosplay, specifically conventions. I'm gonna make another video about cosplays. You know, expect a video about cosplays when the weather gets cold enough that I can actually wear something that's not short-sleeved in this room. Oh, y'all didn't know that this room doesn't have air conditioning? Yeah, I suffer for my art. But anyway, what was I talking about? Conventions. I was talking about conventions. If you've ever been to a comic convention, you know it can be stressful. Here are some stories on how it's been stressful. So this story takes place when I was at a convention with Phoebe, who has been on my videos before and is probably watching this one. Hi Phoebe, I'm talking about you. I was cosplaying as Fiona the Human from Adventure Time, and she was Cass from Supernatural. She looked amazing, by the way. So we're walking around shopping because we're like that, and she sees a stall that's got a bunch of Supernatural stuff. Now mind you, I've actually never watched Supernatural, so while she's shopping around, I decide that now's a good moment to be a real pain in her butt. So I'm really playing up how little I know about the show just to get on her nerves because I love her. And she's looking at these like bullet shells with salt in them. And so I decide to be funny, so I lean on her shoulder and I'm like, ain't salt dangerous for like ghosts or whatever? And then we hear this super gruff voice and it says like, salt is dangerous for anything supernatural. And so the both of us turn and it's like this adult man, don't know exactly how old he was. He was wearing like full trench coat and hat. I don't know if he was a character, if he was cosplaying a character from the show, because again, I don't watch, but he's leaning on the counter and like not looking at us and like the fedora is covering like most of his face. And I didn't really know how to respond. So I looked at Phoebe and I looked back at him and I was like, oh, neat. Was he a ghost hunter? Was he a really dedicated cosplayer? Should I maybe have asked Phoebe if that was a character from the show before making this video? I don't know. Okay, I try to keep my channel pretty PG, so like let's make this quick and as nondescript as possible. Like let me just start this by saying I try not to judge people. But I'm only human. I started going to conventions when I was like a kid. I think that conventions should be welcoming to everyone because most of the conventions I go to are about comics or video games and those are pretty universal interests. So with that being said, to the people who were dressed as Raven and Beast Boy from Teen Titans, was the leash really necessary? Like I've seen the entire show and I don't recall either of you wearing nearly that much leather. Like listen, if you want to dress like that, that's cool, you do you, but this is a public place. And some people, myself included, do not really want to see that. So if you want to like either do it at home, or I'm sure that there are conventions just for this kind of thing, but like we're not at one of those right now, so could you not? Also, a lot of conventions sell many racy items. And I get that they need to display them, and that's like cool because I can sort of avoid those particular stalls. But if you buy one of those items, could you put it in a bag for me, please? Like just put it in your bag or something. It would mean a lot. Anyway, moving along. So I was at another convention with a group of friends, and I was cosplaying as Wendy Corduroy from Gravity Falls. We split up to like shop around, and I saw an older gentleman who was cosplaying Grunkle Stan. And very well, might I add. His cosplay was awesome. Well, I was like super excited because I was like, oh my god, I'm cosplaying and you're cosplay and we're like, it's the same this is So I waved at him, and then he walks over to me, and I was prepared to have like a conversation between Chloe and whatever this gentleman's actual name was, but that's not the conversation he was about to have. He comes up to me and he says, "Wendy, why aren't you working?" And it was cool because I was like super excited, and like his cosplay is super cool, and I was like geeking, and oh my god, he's waiting for a response. So I panicked and I went, "Oh, I'm working," and I ran away. So since then, before going to a convention in cosplay, I always think to myself, okay, what will my response be as this character if I am approached by another character? Grunkle Stan, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I thought you were cool, and I panicked. Your cosplay was awesome. So I was leaving a convention, and I was dressed as Summer Smith from Rick and Morty, and it was one of the first cosplays I'd ever done. I don't wear it anymore for a couple reasons. Because I didn't have a red wig, I just put my blonde hair in a ponytail because, again, it was one of the first cosplays I'd ever done, and I was lazy. Also, ballet flats, hot take, suck. But yeah, so I was in the elevator with my dad, and we were getting ready to go back to the car, and the only other person in the elevator was this dude who was, like, a really convincing Deadpool. And so I was nervous, and so I was like, I like your cosplay. And he was super nice about it, and he told me how he made it himself, which I thought was amazing. I still think it's amazing, because when I say I cosplay, I buy a lot of the items and I know people who like make every part of their outfit, which is amazing. And so he complimented my cosplay, and because I was that age, I was like, oh, my cosplay isn't very good. And one of the things that I thought was extraordinary about this man was that he wasn't like, no, it's the best I've ever seen. He told me like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic, but, like, it's really good for your, like, to begin with, if this is the first one you've ever done, and you'll get better. So yeah, he was really cool. The first cosplay that I made that I still use was my Harley Quinn cosplay, and oh my god, please don't go to the comments, I'm not done yet, let me finish. Yes, I cosplayed as Harley Quinn, and guess what? I had fun doing it. So yes, I was the original character design and not the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, but don't hate on them either, because the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn not only looked cute, but is also accurate to the comics, which you would know if you actually read the comics. That's not the point, I'm being positive. This is positive right now. And it was really good. I met up with a bunch of other Batman villains, and they didn't have a Harley Quinn, so I just sort of hung out with them, and they were really nice. At one point, this woman came up to us and was like, hey, my sons would like to take a picture with y'all because they're a huge fan of Batman. But so yeah, we were all excited, and we took a picture with these two kids. One of them was probably like 2 and the other was like 5. Once we took after we took the photos, the 5-year-old turned around and like hugged me around the knees, and it was super cute. I was like, it was super awesome. So this last story takes place at the same convention as the first story. How fitting. So it was the convention that Phoebe and I went to, and after we had the encounter with the weird ghost hunter man, we decided to go get food. And so we went to line up, and while we were in line, like, the sweetest girl ever just came up. She was wearing a red dress, like a yellow shirt over it, and then like little ears. She was dressed as Winnie the Pooh, and it was awesome, and it was amazing, and oh, she was awesome. And she was super shy, and she's like, hey, I really liked your cosplays. Could I get a picture with you? And we were like, yeah, of course, we'd love to. Can we order first? Because, like, we're up next. And she felt so bad. She was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I should have waited until you got out of the line. And then we felt so bad. We're like, it's literally fine. Like, we need to order. But then, like, we're literally super happy. Like, we were all feeling things. But we took a photo, and she was super nice. And yeah, it was an awesome experience all around. So yeah, those were some of the stories I had to share. Yeah, but so you'll be seeing another video with the cosplays that I mentioned earlier in this video. Because if I turn one video idea into 2 video ideas, that makes it easier to meet the arbitrary deadline that I set for myself. Why am I like this? Thanks for watching, bye!